Rain crashed violently against shattered windows in an abandoned building somewhere deep in the city night. Not the kind of rain that comforts, the kind that hunts. Inside the darkness, a man stands frozen. Daniel Cole, gun raised, hands steady, breathing broken. Across from him, a wounded man kneels in blood, barely holding himself upright, yet smiling like the night already belongs to him. Earlier that night, the city never truly sleeps. It twitches. Neon signs flicker across rain-soaked streets. Police sirens scream somewhere in the distance while strangers move through the night pretending not to notice the danger living beside them. Dan walks through it all silently, like a man carrying ghosts nobody else can see. Maya sits quietly on the couch watching Dan remove his jacket. He moves carefully. You're late again, she says. Work. Quick answer. Too quick. She studies him. What kind of work keeps you awake every night? Dan pauses, just long enough to tell the truth without speaking it, the kind that's almost finished. Later, a black car waits beneath flickering streetlights in an empty parking lot, engine running, rain sliding across tinted windows. Dan approaches carefully. Inside sits Rico. Rico leans slightly forward. One last job. Simple, fast. After that, you walk away clean. Dan stares at him, and if I say no, the smile fades just enough to become real. Not a threat, a promise. Dan exhales slowly. What's the job? Rico smiles again, and that's the moment the trap closes. Time moves differently after bad decisions. Dan loads a pistol alone in his apartment, checks ammunition, reloads magazines. Every movement practiced, every movement exhausted, like a man replaying mistakes he already regrets. Because there's always a catch. Elsewhere, Officer Blake studies a file beneath cold fluorescent lights. A photograph stares back at him. Daniel Cole. Blake grabs his radio. Target is active tonight. No mistakes. The hunt has already begun. Near midnight, Dan enters an abandoned building at the edge of the city. Silent footsteps. Careful breathing. Every instinct screaming something feels wrong. The building is quiet. Too empty. Too prepared. Then, footsteps. Multiple. Positioned. Dan stops moving instantly. His eyes sharpen. Set up. Outside, police vehicles surround the building as flashing lights tear through the rain. Suddenly, gunfire erupts outside. The raid begins. Dan is led outside in handcuffs, soaked, exhausted, strangely calm. Officer Blake watches him carefully. You could have run. Dan stares ahead through flashing lights and falling rain. I did. A beat passes. Just not tonight. Dan sits quietly in the back seat. Not victorious, not defeated, just aware, because sometimes the only way to escape your past is to stop running from it.